I'm thinking a lot about what this trip has been for me so far, and I kind of just wonder, I think to myself, like, how did I get here? How did I get through the northeast, pretty much? How did I get through all that? And you know, I feel like I've definitely mentioned this here before, but I struggled with depression a lot, especially last year, and it was something I really needed to sort of set straight, and I promised myself that I would before I came out here, which I did. I put a lot of work in. Really, it was a big shift. It was a lot of it was just shifting my inner dialogue and being kinder to myself. And I think a big fear I had when I started doing that was, you know, I'd cemented so much of my personality in doing physically hard things on trails, right? And it left me being really hard on myself when I couldn't do those things, and sort of beating myself up to do them in a weird way. And I still enjoyed them, but there was a side to it that wasn't as friendly, I guess. And I got really scared when, you know, I was like, okay, like, I need to shift my inner dialogue and be a little kinder, but am I still gonna be able to do the hard things I want to do in life? You know, do long hiking days and ultra marathons one day and do these long through hikes. Like, am I gonna have the same mental oomph behind it if I'm super gentle on myself? And it was sort of tough to figure out how to balance those things. And I think right off the bat, I just sort of like laid off doing very taxing things and just like focused on being kinder to myself and like changing my inner dialogue, because I knew that like was my priority, right? And when I started doing harder things again and hiking and climbing and doing all that stuff and running, I began to notice, like, okay, I can do these things and be kind to myself, and I just sort of need to find a new way to talk to myself while I was going through these things, and if I failed and all of that. And I think coming out here, I feel like all that growth has been accelerated by coming out here, because I've just gotten so much time to spend sort of cultivating that. And I've also learned so many important lessons, because just out of necessity, like, you know, I had to have my own back out here, right? You know, when you've got 2 days of food left and you're 30 miles from the road, and, you know, the highs are 10 and 12 degrees and the lows are below zero, and you've got miles of unbroken trail in front of you, and, you know, I've got this backpack on my back that weighs 50-60 pounds and feels like it's double. And in that moment, I found out that, like, being kinder to myself actually was the way to maximize my potential, right? Like, sort of cracking the whip of myself would only get me so far, but looking at myself and going, hey, like, you know, checking in, hey, you doing okay? You know, and saying these things to myself and to my body, and be like, hey, are you doing okay? Like, you know, take a second if you need to. It's okay, this is hard. It's okay that this is hard. You know, getting upset and being like, okay, get upset, let it come, let it go. And then, you know, being there for myself and saying, like, you know, you got this, right? You got this, you can do it. You know, I'm here for you, right? And saying those things to myself. And it was an interesting switch, because instead of being like, oh, you're not good enough if you can't do this, it was, you're good enough and let's do this. We can do this. You can do this. I believe in you, right? And that helped a lot. And I got, you know, I think that's a lot of what helped me get to where I'm standing right now is, oh, that's the shelter. Cool. I think that's a lot of what helped me get here, and I feel good about it too. I feel good, and I feel like I've been able to, you know, because I still have my moments, and I feel like I've been able to catch myself a lot faster out here, and it's helped tremendously just shift my mindset, because physically, you know, I personally believe that almost anyone can do what I'm doing. It's not beyond anyone's capability to do what I'm doing. But it takes just a deep, deep, deep desire to do it. You know, if you truly did desire to do this, I believe it's within your capability, right? Or whatever it is that you find that's your version of this, right? We're all capable of those things. And I don't know, I feel like improving my inner dialogue sort of allowed me to unlock this version of myself that's capable of doing something this big. Because, you know, if I continued on the path of having a more negative inner dialogue, it wouldn't have gone well. You know, I don't think I would have made it here. I wouldn't have made it here. There's just no way. Like, it would have been too difficult, and in those hard moments, you know, digging my well, looking for support from myself, I would have just hit a rock, and I wouldn't have been able to go any deeper. So I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but that's been on my mind a lot these last few days, because, you know, with the ups and downs of the trail, I feel like it's a chance for us really to grow. And I've just been sort of reflecting on that and thinking about not just going like, oh, I've grown, but being like, how have I grown? Like, what actually was it that makes me feel like I've expanded as a person, you know? So anyway, I wanted to share. I think I might make this its own video, because I just wanted to share all of this with everyone, because I guess that's also part of the reason I have this channel, is to share something I think might help. So